SMBC Japan Series 2025 Game 2 Yuki Shuto's unbelievable record-breaking performance stuns Japan. Game 2 of the SMBC Japan Series 2025 was supposed to be just another hard-fought battle between two elite teams, but what unfolded on the field left every baseball fan in Japan completely speechless. The atmosphere inside the packed Fukuoka PayPay Dome was electric even before the first pitch, as both teams entered the game with one goal in mind: to take control of the series and move one step closer to the national championship. Yet, by the end of the night, the spotlight belonged entirely to Yuki Shuto, the lightning-fast infielder from the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks, who shattered a long-standing Japan Series record in stunning fashion. The moment Shuto stepped onto the field, something felt different. His energy was contagious, his focus razor-sharp. From warm-ups to the first inning, every move suggested he was about to do something special. Fans waved yellow towels in rhythm, chanting his name, unaware they were about to witness history. The game began with intensity. The opposing team, Hanshin Tigers, had taken Game 1 in dramatic fashion, and the Hawks were desperate to even the series. The first inning saw tight pitching, crisp fielding, and nerves on both sides. But when Shuto came up to bat for the first time, the entire dome seemed to hold its breath. On a 2-2 count, he ripped a line drive into right center field and blazed toward first base like a jet taking off. The outfielder took a step and then hesitated, and that's all Shuto needed. He stretched what looked like an ordinary single into a double. The crowd erupted, and from that moment, it was clear that Shuto was in another world entirely. As the innings rolled on, he continued to dominate in ways that defied belief. His base running was electric. His timing was impeccable. In the third inning, he stole second with such precision that even the slow-motion replay couldn't capture the exact moment his hand touched the bag before the tag. It was speed personified, and it set the tone for what was to come. The Hanshin bench was visibly frustrated. Their catcher, usually reliable, began rushing his throws, and pitchers grew hesitant to deliver to the plate. Every time Shuto got on base, chaos followed. The Hawks used his momentum to manufacture runs, turning routine plays into moments of sheer panic for their opponents. By the fifth inning, whispers began spreading through the broadcast booths. The commentators noticed something historic in the making. Shuto had already tied the Japan Series record for most stolen bases in a single game, a record that had stood untouched for over 3 decades. Fans could sense it too, and the energy inside the dome began to boil over. Then, in the sixth inning, it happened. Shuto reached first base on an infield hit, stole second on the very next pitch, and moments later, sprinted for third. The crowd rose to its feet as he slid headfirst into the bag, safe again. That was his 5th stolen base of the game, a brand new Japan Series record. The stadium erupted into a thunderous roar that lasted several minutes. Even the opposing dugout couldn't help but applaud. The replay screens flashed, new record, as Shuto stood on third base, breathing heavily but smiling from ear to ear. His teammates poured out of the dugout to cheer, and even the umpires took a moment to acknowledge the achievement. What made it even more incredible was that Shuto wasn't known primarily for power or headline-grabbing plays. His magic was always in his consistency, his discipline, and his speed. But that night, he turned his greatest weapon into a historical statement. In the post-game interviews, manager Hiroshi Fujimoto couldn't contain his admiration. "He's a game-changer," Fujimoto said. "You can't teach that kind of instinct. It's something only a few players are born with, and tonight, he showed Japan what that looks like." The Hawks went on to win the game 6-3, tying the series at 1 game apiece, but for many fans, the score was secondary. The night belonged to Shuto, whose performance reminded everyone why baseball is called the sport of miracles. What made his record even more astounding was how effortless it seemed. Each steal looked perfectly timed, as if Shuto had studied every opposing pitcher's move down to the fraction of a second. Analysts later revealed that he had been observing the Tigers pitchers for days, memorizing their leg kicks and pickoff tendencies, waiting for the right moment to strike. This wasn't just athleticism, it was strategy at its finest. The way he blended intelligence with instinct was mesmerizing to watch. Even fans of the opposing team couldn't help but admire his precision. After the game, social media exploded with reactions. Hashtags like #ShutoMagic and #Japan Series History trended across Japan. Clips of his steals were replayed millions of times within hours. Fans called him the flash of Fukuoka, and some even joked that he could outrun a bullet train. Baseball legends and former players weighed in as well. Ichiro Suzuki, watching from the stands, was caught on camera clapping with a knowing smile, a silent acknowledgement from one great speedster to another. Commentators declared that Shuto had not just broken a record, he had redefined what base running could mean in modern Japanese baseball. The psychological impact of his performance also can't be ignored. The Tigers were rattled, their rhythm disrupted, their composure shaken. Every time Shuto got on base, their pitcher's heartbeat seemed to quicken. And that mental pressure built up inning after inning. By the 8th inning, the Hawks capitalized on that tension. A miscommunication between the Tigers catcher and pitcher led to a wild throw, allowing another runner to score. The dome thundered with chants of, "Let's all become number one in Japan," echoing the team's season slogan. As the final out was recorded, the Hawks dugout burst onto the field. Shuto was mobbed by teammates, lifted into the air as fans continued chanting his name. It was a night that would live forever in the team's legacy, and in the history books of Japanese baseball. Later, Shuto himself was humble as always. "I wasn't thinking about breaking any record," he said with a shy grin. "I just wanted to help the team win. That's what baseball is about, doing your best for everyone around you." His words reflected the true spirit of Japanese baseball: discipline, teamwork, and humility even in moments of personal triumph. But make no mistake, what Yuki Shuto did in Game 2 of the 2025 Japan Series wasn't just remarkable. It was transformative. It reminded fans of why they fell in love with the game in the first place: the suspense, the unpredictability, and the thrill of witnessing something you might never see again. As analysts broke down the play-by-play in the following days, they marveled at how Shuto's anticipation skills had evolved. He wasn't reacting, he was predicting. Every movement seemed 2 steps ahead of the defense. That level of mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's built through years of repetition, failure, and relentless determination. It's worth remembering that Yuki Shuto wasn't always a star. Early in his career, he was often overshadowed by power hitters and star pitchers. Critics questioned whether his style of play could truly make an impact in an era dominated by home runs and strikeouts. Yet here he was, standing atop the baseball world, proving that speed and intelligence could still steal the show, literally. The following morning, newspapers across Japan splashed his image on their front pages. Headlines read, "Shuto flies into history," "Speed King rules the Japan Series," and "Fukuoka's hero rewrites the record books." Fans gathered outside the Hawks team hotel, holding banners and thanking him for bringing joy back to baseball. Children mimicked his sliding motion in schoolyards, dreaming of one day running the bases like their new hero. Game 2 of the SMBC Japan Series 2025 will be remembered not just for the numbers or the record, but for the emotion it carried, the connection between a player and his fans, between history and the present moment. And as the series continued, one thing became clear: Yuki Shuto had ignited something special. He reminded everyone that in baseball, and in life, speed, courage, and heart can change everything in the blink of an eye. That night, as the lights dimmed and the cheers faded, the scoreboard still glowed with the words, "SoftBank Hawks 6 Hanshin Tigers 3. But for millions watching, the true highlight wasn't the final score, it was watching Yuki Shuto make history, one stolen base at a time.